Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of CSB, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a very athletic guest joining us. So, without any further ado, please welcome gym rat and footballer Jenoah
What's up,
Gonsalves.
guys? Awesome to be here. Super excited
Uh,
for whatever you guys have planned. And
yeah, it's a
let's
pleasure
start.
to
Yeah,
have you on,
great to
Jenoah.
have you here.
Before we start, do you mind describing yourself in just three words?
Um, Three words. Okay. I would say that I'm hardworking, determined, and confident.
I mean,
Yeah.
clearly you can. I mean, it's very clear to see that it's because of those three words that you have such an athletic figure and you're doing so well in the football field. Quick thing, actually, I'm not sure if I've told you this before, but you were one of the main reasons why I actually got into the whole going to the gym and actually get fixing my body. If you remember, I think
Yeah.
last year you posted that one video of your workout video, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, holy shit, it's because, yeah, I mean, if someone who stays in my apartment is able to build such an amazing physique, why can't I? And I said, all right, you know what, screw it. Let's
That's
put in the
that's
work. And
awesome. That's awesome to hear that someone in my own apartment, especially someone younger than me, watches my stuff and gets, inspired. And like that's kind of like the main thing, I try to do when I post anything of any of my content is to try, to show people that you can do it too. And it's awesome to hear that, you got that from me.
right. We're gonna link Genoa's account down below, guys. So do check it out, follow him, like all of his videos. Um, all right. One question. So is this your dream physique right now? And what's the secret behind your motivation or discipline? What so what's keeping you going?
Okay, see, it depends. I keep changing up my body shape depending on what I'm doing. So if it's I have athletics coming up, or if I have an event, or if I have something where I need to be leaner, I change my body shape, to get fit for the events. But my dream physique is obviously like it's achievable, and that's Chris Bumstead's physique. That's my dream physique, but it's not practical because I'm not really a bodybuilder, and I'm more athletic, and I can't carry that weight around. So yeah, that's my dream physique.
So because you're into footballing so much, your dream physique is more of a footballer
Athletic,
per
yeah,
se.
yeah,
And
athletic, yeah.
so if you do ever maybe later decide to stop playing football, would you shift completely and try and achieve that physique of Sivam?
For
Or?
sure, 100%. I would try to do that, dude.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Another question right now. So when you're working out, obviously there are two things you can do. It's either bulking or it's cutting. So what's the diet you're following right now? And so because you're getting back into training, as you said, you were
Yeah.
injured before the podcast. So right now, what are you bulking? Are you cutting?
Right now I'm just I have my maintenance calories, and I just follow my maintenance calories to keep my physique as much as keep my physique stable. I don't want to cut, I don't want to lose weight, I don't want to gain weight. But yeah, I keep my physique depending on my maintenance calories, and I'm trying to cut down on more of the fatty foods because I want to lose some body fat. Other than that, it's just my maintenance calories. I'm neither cutting or bulking right now.
All right. So, how long did it take you to get to this stage where you're confident about everything?
Um, See, confidence was something that was always there with me since I was a kid. Like being an athlete in school, you always get that recognition in school from a young age, regardless of which school or whatever. When you're an athlete, you always get that recognition, so that builds your confidence automatically. And since I was a kid, I've always been running or playing football or anything, and that kind of built my confidence a lot more. So that's how I am the way I am today, is only because of that. There's nothing that has broken my confidence before. because you're always recognized in schools, so that gives you a lot of confidence.
It does, it does.
Coming back to something you said, where you said, so obviously you are injured right now, and obviously you're trying to cut out all the fatty foods, but you're still trying to maintain your weight. So say for someone who's watching who is injured right now, what would you tell them as to how you can recover from a injury?
Um, See,
That's in terms of
personally,
like diet, working out, doing specific drills, all of that.
yeah, okay. So personally, if you're like really badly injured and it's something that you are not, capable of fixing yourself, obviously go to the doctor or the physiotherapist, which is what I did. And when it comes to working out, you can't really do much to the affected area. For example, if you hurt your hand, you can't work out, you can't do arms with like, because you're gonna like, make the injury worse. So I would say take rest from that body part, but do whatever else you can do at the same time. And your diet always remains the same. It has to be the maintenance calories, and you don't have to, cut or like, any calories from your diet. And just follow whatever the doctor says, or if you can do it yourself and treat yourself, then that's also good. But there's no real change in your um diet or anything. Working out, just have to work out the part that is not injured, and you're good.
So
All
you're
right.
saying, you said you're going to FCB right now. What are your future plans? Do you plan on staying in FCB, or do you plan to go onwards from that?
Yeah, so FCBU is this is a new club based in Bangalore, and they're very like they have a forward thinking kind of mind. And I would like, they're already in tying with like Italian clubs and stuff, and that's why I chose to be in this club. I've not yet joined, but that's my current, goal to like be in that team for now and see where that takes me. Yeah, got it.
All right.
Obviously, you were part of BFC and you were part of Ozone at one point. What made you leave those clubs?
It was mostly just, a change, or it would be something like, school, or mostly it's like age. Some clubs, when you get past like the under 15 mark, they tend to like get new talent or new thing. And when you're 16, you can't really play for under 18, right? So it takes you like that a little gap. That gap is there for you to like change, clubs, and also just to experience new clubs, new players, stuff like that. And sometimes it's based on the tournaments. Like if you don't want to play a tournament, you switch to another club which they are participating in a tournament, like stuff like that, where there's scope for getting to a higher level. That's when you switch your club or this thing. That's the only reason why I've switched from clubs. But Ozone is not like a club that I left. They actually shut down some time back, so I was kind of forced to leave. So that's
Right? And between BFC and Ozone, do you have a preference as to which club was better?
Ozone for sure. Ozone was like the most fun because I just built a lot of friendships there, and it was like I think the most immersive football experience ever because it just felt the best. Yes.
Perfect. Again, switching back to weightlifting here. Are there any mythbusters about weightlifting that you'd like to bust? Because I know when I got into lifting, at least or my parents said, okay, you know what, it might stunt your growth, which wasn't true because I actually grew after I started working out. So, are there any other mythbusters you have to bust?
Um. Yeah, there's one mythbuster that I thought was like totally true until like recently. I used to think that lifting heavier weights would equal to more gains, or lifting heavier would get you bigger, and that's so not true. Basically, your muscle only grows when there's complete contraction and complete expansion of your muscle, right? And when you have heavier weights, you tend to lose that. So my suggestion is to just use a weight that is perfect for you, and you'll get the most gains.
So, obviously, lifting till failure is also, but isn't that the way you're supposed to go, where you're supposed to try and lift heavier so that you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
more gains?
There is something called progressive overloading where gradually add weight to your routine. But that's what I'm saying. I should think that heavier weights, like something that I couldn't like really like do like 15 reps with, that would be my heavier weight. Like I would do like 6 to 8 reps max, and I would think that it was hurt like benefiting me, but that's not true. You'd rather use something that you can do 15 to 16 reps with each set, and that would be a perfect weight for you.
I think it's reps and time under tension that gets the muscles going as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Exactly,
what I'm saying.
huh?
When you contract completely and you expand, that's the only way a muscle really grows is when you contract completely and you expand completely. So that's the only concept that's required when it comes to building muscle mass.
And another question, I think I'm going to bounce back to football right now. Pretty easy or standard question. Between Messi and Ronaldo, who do you prefer? What are the reasons?
I know that people are like obviously people are gonna get mad, but
Yeah.
my favorite is Ronaldo. I've been watching him since I was a kid, and like he was, I don't know, like something about him. Like I just really love the way he plays and his complete play style. I just love it so much, and yeah, he's my favorite. I'm not saying Messi is bad, but I'm just saying I like Ronaldo better.
Yeah.
So, on a ranking of your top three players in the entire football thing, you'd put Messi. Sorry, you'd put Ronaldo, Messi, and then who would be your third player?
Neymar for sure. I love Neymar, dude. I love Neymar.
Is it because your playing style resonates with him, or it's because he does quite a few skills? What's the reason
Yeah,
behind that?
it's mostly the way he plays. Like I don't resonate with him, but his play style is just it's so cool. Like if you watch, like obviously you've seen Neymar play, and like the way he plays is just amazing. Like he thinks out of the box. Like he has any way. Like if you put like 10 people in front of him, he's gonna dribble every single one of them. Like he's that good. Like he can think that fast. So that's so cool. To me, that's so cool.
Yeah.
A question again. So you said Neymar's playing style doesn't exactly resonate with you, and I can't believe I haven't asked this question yet. So, what position do you play, and is this the position you were stuck from the beginning?
Uh, okay, so I switch between left wing and strike depending on what my coach wants me to play. But I usually like playing left wing because you get a lot more space to run and a lot more to dribble and like show off your skills a little bit. So that's why I like playing on the left wing more. So I would say yeah, I'm a left winger.
And is this the position you've been playing since the beginning?
Um, No, I was a left winger for some time, but then during Ozone I was playing strike, and now I think I'm back to left winger.
And that's the position you're planning on sticking with
Yes,
even
yes,
once you join FCB.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Um,
Um, what are the pressures and difficulties of playing football in India? As you said, you wanted to maybe stick with FCB for a while. Do you see yourself growing as a professional footballer in that club?
Um, right now, like I'm obviously that's the goal to grow and move to a higher level. That's always the goal. And the thing is, right, I'm not gonna be here in India for very long. So maybe I have a year to grow and I'll be moving to Canada soon. So maybe over there I can, take my football to another level because when you join there, I think it's a lot better than India when it comes to sports. Like it's not over in India, it's way different compared to there. And Canadian in Canada, I'm sure that football, I can develop my football a lot more because um, it just makes more sense to me. In India, it's a little constricted when it comes to developing.
All right, back
Right.
to
So
the.
do you
Go ahead, Ji.
Moksh, if I may say
Yeah.
something. So obviously you said that you're shifting to Canada. So do you obviously, since you're leaving, I know, but do you see India as a country growing and like playing in the World Cup? Obviously Canada does, Alfonso Davies does. So do you see that happening, or is that still a mile away from happening?
For the, I don't know about the World Cup, but I feel like in like football in India is constantly growing. Like if you see like 10 years back, football was nothing. Nobody like cared about football in India. There was just like if you ask your parents, you'll just know that they'll be like, yeah, Bachang Bhutia. That's all they know. Like nobody knows anything else about Indian football like 10 years back. And now you if you ask anyone, there's like a large following of Indian football. So I'm sure like in 5 to 10 years time, maybe that like we'll be able to take part in the World Cup for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Moksh, you can ask
Yeah.
your question now.
So back to the bodybuilding and fitness aspect. For someone who doesn't know how to start or where to start, what is your advice to them?
Um. Usually, like when you start, you just think going to the gym and lifting weights is easy, but like it all depends on your form, which that's like the one thing that helps. That's the one thing that actually gets you gains, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up hurting yourself. So I would say go with someone who has some experience in the gym, and work with something that's not too heavy, and not basically don't ego lift. You don't have to impress anyone by saying I can lift like 20 kg dumbbells or 30 kg dumbbells. Like you don't have to impress anyone. It's you're doing this for you, not for anyone else. So I would say, yeah, go to the gym with someone who knows what they're doing, who has some experience in the gym, and don't do anything that's a little too heavy for you.
So start out slow is
Right.
what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And in terms of diet and stuff, what are the advice on that?
Um, on diet, see, like when you're gymming, it's obviously is depending on what you want to do. You want to become bigger, you want to become leaner, you want to become this, you want to become that. It's all based on, actually when it comes to bodybuilding or fitness in general, it's all based on food, because you can go and work out for 10 hours a day, but if you eat something that's not good for you or is not healthy and has a lot of calories, you're going to just end up just erasing the whole hard work of your workout. So like it just doesn't make any sense. So if you're cutting, obviously you have to be in a calorie deficit. That's like I'm sure that everyone knows that. And if you're bulking, you're going to be in a calorie surplus. And like the easy way to do both of these things is to go on Google and look up for maintenance calorie calculators. Like they tell you, depending on how much your height, weight, and like how much you work out a week, they give you like you can calculate your maintenance calories. And depending on how much your maintenance calories are, you can either minus 600 calories or like 500 calories to cut, and you can add like 500 to 600 calories to bulk. That's, and you when you're on a calorie deficit, you have to just burn more than you eat and you lose weight. That's basically it.
So eat more,
Right.
exercise.
So then,
I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
exercise
I
more,
mean,
eat less.
Yeah.
I've heard
So
that.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so I heard that obviously, if you're in a calorie deficit, you don't need to do as much cardio because you're already losing weight by eating in a deficit, right? So cardio doesn't play as big of a role than while being in a bulk, because in a bulk, obviously, people do tend to get more fat, and that's why they encourage doing cardio while bulking, because you won't get excess fat.
See, when you're cutting, right? Okay, just say for example, you're eating 500 calories lesser than your maintenance calories, and you're going to the gym, right? When you're doing normal weightlifting, you're not really losing. It's not like you're not burning that much calories unless it's like a proper heavy session of, a heavy workout. And I'm sure that's not the case. So doing cardio is essential for losing weight because your workouts won't really help you lose that many calories. So you need to incorporate cardio for sure, 100%.
And I mean, your heart will thank you because doing cardio does boost your
Yeah,
heart
of
strength.
course. Yeah.
Again, bouncing back to the whole footballing thing. So obviously for people who are still who aren't shifting abroad and who are going to continue in India, from the beginning, how do you basically go from like one league to another? So like, how's the process? You first start off, you play for a club, and then you
Yeah.
join a league. Can you describe that?
Yeah, okay. So in Bangalore, Karnataka, there are right now there are these tournaments that are hosted by the association itself, Karnataka State Football Association. And like when I first started, they weren't hosted. Like there was nothing like this before, and there were only like friendly matches between clubs like friendly matches, and those weren't like really like professional or anything. Like there was no scope for people our age at that time when I first started. But now there's so much scope because there are like many tournaments that are hosted by Karnataka State of like Football Association. They host the youth league, they host like under 21 league and the under like 23 league, I think. And from these leagues, right, there are first of all, there are people who come and scout for the state team. So that like while your matches are being played for whatever club you play for, they're gonna be people watching you play. And when you if you perform well and if you perform like really good, you're gonna get selected for the state team. And then when you're playing state matches against other states, there are gonna be people there who are gonna select you for the national team. And then it keeps going on and on and on like that. But when it comes to leagues in Bangalore, there's first of all there's C division, then there's B division, then there's A division, and then there's super division. Super division is that like when you're playing for a super division club is like when you start getting paid. Like that's when you start getting money from football. It's not a lot in India, like it's not a lot at all, but you still do get paid when you're playing for super division clubs. And the best part about super division clubs is where that's the place where people come and scout for your ISL and your the big commercial tournaments in India. So that like super division is basically the main goal when you're playing in Karnataka.
And correct me if I'm wrong here. You did play for BFC, and that time you were getting paid, right?
Yeah, that time you do get paid a lot. I mean, you don't get paid a lot, but you do get paid
I
because
mean, for a teenager at that time, you were getting paid a lot for a teenager
yeah,
specifically.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, what are some
Moksh, you had
mythbusters
something to say.
about starting out in football and going ahead?
Mythbusters for football.
Yeah, as in like when you start playing, are there any things that people think that turns out not be true?
Um. Oh yeah, there are a few. Okay. Some people think that if you have massive calves or massive legs, you can shoot like 10,000 times harder, which is not true at all. Like it's all based on technique. Like for me too, even I thought that was true. So I tried building my my legs, and like it just didn't happen. Obviously it gives you a little more explosiveness when it comes to running and stuff, but when it comes to shooting, it all depends on where how your ankle is locked and how your feet are placed. It's never about the power that's generated from your leg.
I mean, I would have thought that as well, considering, you know, yeah, G.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does play a certain role. I mean, if you're bigger, you do tend to have a little more explosiveness while shooting.
Yeah,
But
but
again,
like
as Jenoah said,
I'm telling.
form over
Yeah, it's form
anything.
over. Yeah,
And it's the same case for the gym too, right? As you mentioned
yeah.
earlier. Um, Another question I'd like to ask is, obviously, you have idols in both football and gym. Who were they?
Um, Idols. Okay, obviously one of them have to be Sunil Chetri. Like that man has been scoring so much for like he's done so much for Indian football as it is. So
Right.
obviously he has to be like one of my idols. And he's in general such a good player. If you watch the like the recent matches and if you like were able to catch that free kick that he took, my God, it was so good. Like that free kick that he took against who did he take that free kick against?
I do not watch football.
um, I'm not sure. I think I forgot. I think it was um Qatar. I'm not sure. I think so.
I don't know, but that free kick is just so good. Yeah. So Chetri, Ronaldo, obviously, because he's like for me the best player ever, and Neymar. Those are my three idols.
And in terms of the gymming aspect,
Uh, Chris Bumstead. Um, there's this guy called Adam Freighter that I don't know if you guys probably won't know him, and he's like a really he's like shredded to the bone, and he's like only into calisthenics, and he's the guy like first got me into gymming, and obviously Ronnie Coleman.
yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
um, Another a little off-topic question here. Well, not completely off-topic. So did you get into lifting because of the sport? Or did you get into lifting because you wanted to build your physique?
Yeah, like like my brothers were always very influential to me when they started going to the gym. I always thought that okay, even I should go to the gym, like even I wanted to do that. So like they were like a big part of why I started, and I saw the results and how it looked on them, and like they looked good, like the physique was so good. So when I was a kid I used to always try. The only reason that I started going is not because of the sport, it was for the physique only. It was not because I tried to get uh, bigger for the sport. No.
So when did you start exactly?
I started gymming in ninth grade. Ninth grade is when I started going to like before that they don't allow you into the gym. So like ninth grade is when I started going. But I wasn't like when it came to diet, I wasn't serious. Like I didn't notice any difference in my body when I was going in ninth grade. But I think after like during 10th lockdown is when I started I think eating and keeping my nutrition in check, and that's when I got bigger.
And for football, when you started was like, I'm guessing when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Football. Football was not something that I played when I was a kid. I was my main thing was athletics, and I should like train like at least 3 4 hours a day in Kantira for athletics, and that was like my main goal. But then I think in third grade I started playing a little football with some of my friends, and I started to enjoy it. And then like my dad like really helped me. He's like, you can actually be good at this, and you can do stuff in football. So then we started going to clubs and this and that, and then just grew on from there.
All right. I think we're running out of time here. We do
Yeah.
have a couple of more questions, but I think we'll have to wrap it up for today. So it was a pleasure having you on,
Yeah.
Jenoah. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share the video. We'll tag Jenoah's accounts down below so you can follow that too.
And
You can listen to this on Spotify too, so check that out.
and if we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Thank you for
Thank you,
watching.
guys.